souls, chosen ones, empaths. These 3 tactics that I discuss will give you a means to have a better position and more control of your emotions around toxic company. Okay, many of you are still acquainted with toxic company. Could be at work, creatures, narcissists, or even if you're someone who's stuck in the midst of a meshed relationship with a dusty cretin. What I would say to you is, naturally, the conscious soul, from my perspective, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But from my perspective, the conscious soul, the chosen one, the empath, is quite warm with people, even strangers in the street, things like this. At least at some point in your life, you've been like that. Even if you're introverted, you've been relatively warm with people. It's actually how these cretins manage to get in, how these cretins manage to enmesh themselves in your life anyway. Or they manage to get so enmeshed in your life because you're warm and friendly and stuff like that, right? And that's okay to be like that. But now you've probably learned to keep people at a distance or a safe space. But my point being is, if you have a cretin around you, someone that you've been friendly with, you've been warm with, you've been gracious with, you've been cool with, right? And then you figure out they're a cretin or a narcissist and you want to start to phase them out, they're going to still be coming at you, probably not in a malicious way, but this is when you figured them out before they realize, all right? Or you figured out someone's toxic at work, or you figured out someone's toxic, you know what I mean? And stop smiling with them. That is the most authentic, because you're feeling discomfort from them. Don't smile with them for the sake of it, or stay friendly. You see? Because oftentimes people take your smiling as a weakness, and this is what happens to all of you probably. You smile with people, you're nice with people, and then they try to take a whole mile, right? When you don't smile with someone who's been, who's offended you or done something, even if they've been sly or they spoke behind your back or they're just some cretin, and you stop smiling with that person that you have to see at work or wherever, in the office, at school, at college or university or whenever, whoever's watching this video, don't smile with these people. Toxic friends that have been doing something, don't smile with them. It makes them start to have a fear for you because you're not being warm no more, right? People are used to, this is what I mean. Like, if you're someone who just never smiles at anyone and then you don't smile at someone, it's not going to have no effect. But when people have felt your warmth and then you stop smiling with them when they're cracking joke or they're trying to make you be amusing or whatever, and you just stop smiling, it makes people have a distance from you. Okay? So this is what you should do. I know in the thumbnails or the early thumbnails, I used to just not smile because it's a serious subject, but in my personal life, I'll smile. I'm quite friendly with people, and when I'm in my travels, strangers, I'm relatively friendly. Obviously, I'm guarded, and that's what I think some of you are now. Okay, so this is the first tactic that I would say to implement. This could even be beneficial for you if you're in a parallel parenting relationship with a narcissist. Stop smiling with them. It's like a form of grey rock, but it's just stop smiling with them. Okay, to put it quite simply, stop smiling. Don't smile for the sake of it. It makes you go against your authentic nature because you're not liking that person. So I would say just stop smiling with them. And this isn't just romantic relationships. It could be family, it could be work, it could be colleagues, associates, whatever. Just stop smiling. Very crucial. Now, the next critical point I would like to make is when these cretins ask you of something, just say no. Save yourself the drama, save yourself the stress. You're allowed to say no. I know some of you might be in a bullying situation with one of these cretins where you feel like you can't say no to them. All right? And I'm not talking about a romantic relationship. I'm talking about a friend that could be a bully. I'm talking about a boss that could be a bully. Do you know what I mean? Right? Or even it could be, in a romantic relationship, someone, I've heard of, financial abuse from many people and stuff like that, right? There could be some financial abuse going on in a marriage or something like that, where someone's taking, you're allowed to say no, all right? To whoever you want to say no to, you're allowed to say no. You don't even need to explain yourself. It's just no. Don't say no because of such and such. You say no. And then that leave them with the response. Oftentimes they'll be like, what do you mean? And they'll try and make you change your decision. But you're allowed to say no. If it gives you peace of mind to say no, say no. All right. We can all say no. All right. Even at work, you can say no. You can say I don't like you can say like, I think no is the best effective way, especially with dealing with cretins. But obviously I know I'm going a bit off topic now, but if you're dealing with someone else who's not a cretin, maybe you can say I'm unable to do that, or I don't want to do that, and leave the response with them. You know what I mean? If it's a polite person, genuine person, you can still say, you know what I mean? Whoever this is, you can say no. All right. Or this is a cretin or a decent person, you're allowed to say no to protect your peace of mind from certain things that you don't want to engage in. All right. It could be an activity at work. It could be something at work which they say to you, and you don't want to do something, or something like that, or you don't feel up to it, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to say no. Okay. I believe you're allowed to say no. I'm not saying say no to the entire task, but if there's a specific part of a task that you don't want to do or something like that, or you're unable to do it, say no. All right. Or if something you don't want to do, you don't want to help someone out, you don't want to loan them that money, you don't want to, you know what I mean? Just say no. Okay. So that's the next critical point. So remember, we've had, don't smile and no. Okay. So if you implement this last one, this is another angle of what you have to do with dialogue with people. Okay. Is, when someone says something to you, it's this way, it's that way, it's this way, it's that way, whatever that's talking about you, a certain situation, and you don't think it's right, the most simplest, powerfulest thing you can say is I disagree, and say nothing more. Don't explain yourself. I disagree. It takes the power away from them. All right. These are tactics that make them powerless, these cretins. So I disagree. By saying I disagree is so powerful. This will be useful for those of you that are maybe still really enmeshed with the narcissist. Still a mess, you haven't gone yet. Not just romantic relationship, it could be family, dysfunctional family unit, whatever. Say I disagree. Okay? I disagree. You know? Like you could say in the comment section, Zion, I disagree with this. I'm going to explain why I think it's that, and you're going to say it's that, and that's it. You see? But with a toxic person, when you say disagree, it takes the power from them. You know, if you said I disagree with what I say, I know you might disagree with some of the things I say. That's totally fine. They can't handle it when someone disagrees with them. They cannot handle it. Okay? It takes the power away from them. All right? So remember, like I said, don't smile with them, right? When you figured someone out that they're a narcissist or something like that, you're able to say no. I understand how it can be if you're in a bullying situation where someone's bullying you and you can't say no and stuff like that, right? Could be financial abuse, could be all types of things. You feel like you can't say no, you're allowed to say no. And lastly, is I disagree. Okay? So I hope this helps you. I really hope this helps you. Remember, just remember those 3 points that I've said. It will tremendously help you in life. Okay, I don't know if this video is going to reach a lot of people, but I hope it does, because this will help you in life with anyone and anyone. Oftentimes the conscious soul finds it hard to say no to people because you're caring, you try to do your all, right? But to toxic people, you're allowed to say no. It's not you turning dark, it's just you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to say that, all right? And just, if you implement these 3 things through the course of the day, you could be in a situation at work where you have to go around work the whole day. If you stop smiling with people that you don't want to smile with, right? Being fake, right? Be authentic, right? Don't smile with them. All right? It's powerful. It's going to have an impact. You say no to them about things you don't want to do at work, or I disagree, right? It's not being unreasonable. It's being very diplomatic in a sense as well. It's actually you being very diplomatic and diplomacy. And don't show emotional anger, too much just make the statement. It's a powerful, powerful statement I've given you. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. If you'd like to donate or support to the channel, you can. Check out Zion Music and check out Zion Spiritual. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.